Welcome along to What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes, and it is Ladbrokes Trophy weekend at Newbury. We've got some terrific racing on Saturday, and of course we've got the 3 Grade 1s at Fairyhouse on Sunday. And to preview all the action, we've got an all-star cast with me, David Jennings. We've got James Morden from our sponsors Ladbrokes. We've got the in-form Mr. Brendan Duke, who is red hot at the moment. And we've also got Gavin Lynch. Now, before we get stuck into the action, we're going to have our regular quick-fire questions. And Mr. Gavin Lynch, the first one is for you.
Yeah.
What result of the jump season so far has given you most pleasure?
You asked me this earlier, so I thought of a few. I thought of Jeffy Desai, I thought of Duvan, I thought of your horse Sam Crow and Down Royal, but definitely my favourite moment so far would be Fine and Punchdown.
Financially or just?
A little bit financially, but just the drama of it. After 5 fences, you think, oh yeah, shit's going to win easy.
Retirement. Then
at the first ditch at halfway, it more or less fell. Paul up on the neck, lost his irons, got them back, and then you thought, yeah, it'll win again. Made a mistake, 3 out. You thought it's gone again, and ended up winning easy. I just thought it was the moment so far. I loved it.
Roller coaster of emotions, yeah.
Great horse.
I have to say, I thought midway through that race, retirement beckoned. But
considering he's nearly 12, like, it was a great performance.
What a horse.
Yeah.
Mr. Brendan Duke, after the huge success of our question last week, we're gonna have a recurring theme. So, which horse best sums up your punting over the last few weeks?
Well, my punting over the last few weeks has been going pretty well. I'm not pulling up any trees, but nudging out modest profits by the week. So I thought maybe a horse like Cogri.
Cogri from Nigel Twiston-Davies?
Cogri for Nigel Twiston-Davies.
Do explain.
Well, I mean, he's always trying, wins in his turn, gives you a good day out, pays his way, and just at the end of the season, you're there, well, we really enjoyed down in Cogri this season. It was a nice experience. But the last few weeks have been a very pleasant experience for me. So long may it continue. I'll be buying Cogri if it does.
So Cogri, okay. Cogri best sums up Brendan Duke's punting career over the last few weeks. So over your whole life, it'll be a different horse.
It would be, yeah. We won't go into that.
Okay, we'll come to that later on, maybe in another show. And James, your question is right now with Ladbrokes, who is their worst loser heading into this bumper weekend of action?
Yeah, it's actually a double we're really afraid of. Plenty of people have had money on Sam Crow and Envoy Allen in the double, so if them two come in, I'd say we could be going home with our tails between our legs. Okay,
so we're talking about roughly a 4-1 double, roughly between Sam Crow and Envoy Allen winning 2 of the Grade 1s at Fairyhouse on Sunday. So without further ado, we're going to get stuck into the action. And of course, our first race we must preview is at 3 o'clock on Newbury on Saturday. It's live on ITV and TV3. It is the Ladbrokes Trophy. And James, can we get some prices from the sponsors, please?
Yes, we have OK Corral chalked in at 6-1, your favourite. Cabaret Queen, 15-2. Mr. Malarkey, 9-1. Elegant Escape, 10-1. Also a 10-1 West Approach, 11-1 on the blind side and the Rasher counter. And it's 14-1 or bigger than.
And who's been popular with Ladbrokes this week?
It's been OK Corral. They've kind of really got stuck into that. We had a big market move on Elegant Escape there during the week as well, and that one finished second in it last year. So maybe people are just thinking the test of stamina is going to be the thing for that one. But yeah, it's really OK Corral they've all come for.
Okay, Gavin Lynch. Willie Mullins won this race a few years ago with Total Recall. Cabaret Queen.
Similar profile.
Similar profile. He's done a terrific job in winning the Munster National. Mm-hmm. Is she the right type for a race like this?
Sure, she has to be given a shot at it. Sure, she bolted up in Limerick. Anybody who backs and running, I'm sure they were pressing the back button because at all stages she looked to be going really well. She jumped fantastic for Paul. She bolted up. She's 20 pounds higher. She won that day off 126, now 146. But Total Recall did a similar job down in Limerick and won this race from 18 pounds higher. So she has to be given a chance, yeah.
And her running style, she's quite exuberant. She enjoys it. She's exciting to watch. Is that the type of style you need for Newbury?
Well, you need to jump well in Newbury. Like a lot of fences together down the back straight and up the home straight. So I think she's got a decent each way chance.
Okay,
it'll be interesting to see what rhythm she gets into in the first circuit.
Could be an in-run and play, Cabaret Queen. And Brendan, OK Corral divides a lot of opinions. There's people who are giving him absolutely no chance. Paul Keeley on Twitter, just forget about OK Corral. Are you an OK Corral fan? Does he deserve to be favoured?
I think he does just about deserve to be favoured because I was giving him a live chance in the RSA. I thought that's the race he should have gone for. So if I was saying that, then a mark in the low 150s, you would think is a mark he could exploit. It's just He's a second season chaser. That's what you're looking for as well. It's just this race. I mean, you can't rule horses out. I could see this being 10-1 the field. Everything has a chance in this race as far as I can see.
Okay, we're going to get you to narrow it down in a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with you, Gavin. What do you fancy?
I would give Cabaret Queen a decent chance, and the Tizzards have 4 in it, and I see that Robbie Power rides West Approach, has already won over 3-3. This is 3 mile 2. People might think it's 3 mile, but it's more. So I know the West Approach is 9 years old, but I give him an each way chance.
I thought it was the ride of the season so far at Cheltenham.
Yeah, he's class, isn't he?
Unbelievable. To win the way, and I'm sure it gave you plenty of pleasure. You tipped West Approach that day at Cheltenham.
No, Lee did. I was against West Approach.
Oh, you were against West
because he's a
Approach?
very hard ride. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, so West Approach and Cabaret Queen, you're two?
Yeah.
For you, Brendan?
I was struggling. The one I thought was maybe a bit overpriced was the Conditional. He's 20-1, so he's only 7.
Ex-Dennis Hogan.
Yeah, he's won his last 2 races. He's only had 2 runs for current connections. He's £2 well in. He beat West Approach, so the form has had a boost. I was thinking maybe the ground could be softer and he's inclined to hit the odd fence, but I'm still struggling to make him a 20-1 shot. So the Conditional for me.
Conditional. And for you, James?
I like Elegant Escape in this. I know he's top weight and that's going to be a tough ask to do, but second in it last year, and I don't know why now I just keep wanting to have a little each way play on York Hill. I think if he gets back into any sort of form, he could run a big race in this.
Tell me you're joking.
No,
York
just keep
Hill.
going back to it. Yeah, I think for York Hill, I don't think Willie's going to send him over there if he doesn't think he's all right, and if they can get him set, I know he's a nut
York
job.
Hill and all right in the same sentence.
Yeah, the horse is an absolute
that hasn't happened
nut
for
job.
about 5
but
years.
If they can get him back right, if they can calm him down a bit, I think he could run a big race.
There's a lot of ifs in that sentence, James. So it's York Hill, a bit of an adventurous tip from James Morden from our sponsors Ladbrokes, and one that I think could go well at a big price is Yala Enki on its first start for Paul Nichols. Had a wind up, Bryony Frost booked, can see that going well, and another one at a huge price, Commodore. I think if it gets into a rhythm out in front, could go well. So there's 2 at big prices for you in the Ladbrokes Trophy. That's off at 3 o'clock at Newbury on Saturday, live on ITV and TV3. And moving across to Newcastle for the Grade 1, it is the Fighting Fifth Hurdle, and it is all about Bouvardere, who's trying to win the race for a 3rd year in a row. James, just how short is Bouvardere?
He's 1-3 at the minute. He's going to go off a lot shorter. This is a very disappointing field, I think. It's a penalty kick really for Bouvardere. You've got Silver Streak 7-2, Lady Buttons 9-1, and then 33-1 or bigger about the remainder.
Right, Brendan Duke, Champion Hurdle, middle Tuesday in March. You have to have a bet right now. Who do you back?
Classical Dream.
Okay. You're not a Bouvardere fan at this stage?
I just think that something, well, I could be wrong because they keep falling by the wayside, but I have to believe that something can come and take, he's exploitable. So I'm hoping there's something there that will exploit him. Classical Dream, no doubt it was a disappointing comeback. I mean, it shouldn't have been fitness. They didn't send him off 2-5 thinking he wasn't fit. But he did really come alive in the spring last year. His winter form was good, but he took it to a new level in the spring. So maybe something similar could happen. That's what I'm hoping.
Free bet for the 2020 Champion Hurdle, Gavin Lynch, who do you put it on?
No opinion. Honestly.
You just keep the docket.
Just keep the docket, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And Bouvardere here tomorrow. Like, a lot of people think he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, but the more people say it, the more recognition he's getting.
Yeah.
So
he does get a lot of recognition. Sure, he won again at Punchestown. He's dual champion hurdle winner. He's 3's on. He'll win. He's £13 in hand over Silver Streak. You wouldn't back him in a single, but if you're doing a multiple, maybe you might put him in. But
do you think it'll be very, very straightforward? Do you think there'll be any little glitch in the performance?
No, it'll be easy.
Will he be part of your multiples tomorrow?
Don't think so. 1-3 is a bit
short.
Obviously, it's compound interest, but even so.
Okay. Brendan, will he be part of your multiples?
No, he won't. I think I wouldn't actually see him going off a lot shorter than 1-3 because he's given up race fitness to Silver Streak. He's a hard knocking, good horse. I think Silver Streak will put it up to him, but ultimately fall a little short.
What would be the shortest price you'd have a single on?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. 2's on, but not really. Very seldom a back odds on. There's no point.
Yeah, no. There we go. So across the panel, is there any chance Bouvardere won't win? James?
If he falls, that's the only way he doesn't win.
There's approximately a 25% chance. I'd say the odds are reflective.
Yep, fair.
Fair? Okay,
Yeah, it should
so
win, yeah.
of course it is Bouvardere across the board for all of us here on What's the Word. Now, lads, we've racing everywhere on Saturday. It's a terrific day. It's one of the best Saturdays of the year. Obviously, Newcastle, Newbury, good card of Fairyhouse. Gavin, we're going to start with you. We just want 2 selections for Saturday.
For Saturday, my nap would be in Fairyhouse is Jukebox Jive. Runs in a handicap hurdle, I think, off 124, 2.5 miles. an amazing training performance. It's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
Like, it joins Gavin Cromwell. He has it 5 weeks, and he comes out and wins very close to the most competitive middle distance, long distance handicap we've had all season.
On ground he wasn't supposed to want.
Yeah, it's amazing. He won off 84, building up with a couple of class race. He's up to 92. It's now off 124, 2.5 mile handicap. That should win.
Jukebox Jive, okay. And one more.
Maybe Sempo in the maiden hurdle. It was beaten 7 lengths in the champion bumper at Cheltenham. Davy Russell rides, taking its fitness on trust, I suppose, but maybe Sempo, but definitely Jukebox Jive anyway.
Jukebox Jive and Sempo for Gavin Lynch at Ferryhouse on Saturday. Now, Brendan Duke, you're in terrific form. You just can't stop smiling. While your dating might be suffering, your punting certainly isn't. You are I've never known you in better form.
Well, that's
so this is a big build up now.
That's a saying, isn't it? Lucky at cards, unlucky in life, or
yes.
Unlucky in love, should I say? So yeah, it's not a bad trade if you ask me. But
so we just want 2 more from the rest of the action on Saturday, which should be very straightforward for a successful punter like yourself.
Well, thank you very much, David. I am flushed with confidence. The 115 Sam Tegal. Thought the handicapper had taken a real chance. Sametigal, apologies. I thought the handicapper had taken a real chance dropping him to 137. Fine record, fresh, and I think this is his optimum trip. Ridden by a fella by the name of Harry Cobden, who you may have heard. Very, very promising.
Good young lad.
Yeah. And then the 210 in Ferryhouse, Definite Plan, was struggling in point to points, but he's taken off since he joined Gordon, and he's to give away a penalty in this race against some unexposed sorts. I think we might get some sort of a price about him. I just think he's going to take another step forward, and he'd be hard to beat if he does.
So Definite Plan and Sametigal for Brendan Duke. Take note. What's the word? Viewers are scribbling down the names of those 2 horses as we speak. James Morden, 2 for Saturday.
Yeah, I've went with 2 there that are coming back after pretty long layoffs in the 1240 at Newbury. I've gone with Danny Whizbang up against Reserve Tank. I was down at Ballinaboula today. Danny Whizbang won his point. He was so impressive that day. I know Colin Bowe taught an awful lot of him. He's with Paul Nicholls. He's done nothing wrong in these 2 races for him so far, so I think he could put it up to Reserve Tank.
Just one more.
In the 1150 Down Royal, brace yourself for Noel Meade. 392 days off the track, but beat Deafy Blue in his maiden hurdle at times, and looks like Jason's going to be the game for this one as well. So absolutely,
that's brace yourself in the 1150 at Ferryhouse for James Morden. So it's Saturday banker time, lads. We've given the 4 tips already, but if you're just to have one bet on Saturday, who would it be? James Morden.
You kind of threw me a bit here, but if I was having one bet, I'd go on the 225 in Newbury. Christopher Wood. He looks pretty well treated. Ran a decent race behind Fusel Raffles last time out, and this isn't nowhere near as hot a contest.
Could be well handicapped. Christopher Wood in the 225 at Newbury. Brendan.
115 Newbury Sametigal.
Beautiful. Gavin Lynch.
Ferryhouse Jukebox Jive.
Excellent. So there you go. There is a nice little Trixie for you on Saturday. And now moving on to Sunday and Ferryhouse. What a day we have in store at the County Meath track. We've got 3 Grade 1s. We've got a whole host of top class handicaps. This is Gavin Lynch's bread and butter. And he's even going to Ferryhouse on Saturday. We're going to have a full attendance at Ferryhouse on Sunday?
I'll be there.
Yes, James, Gavin,
yeah.
And I'll be there as well. So call up, say hello. If you're looking for a few tips, don't forget to ask the lads. They'll guide you in the right direction, I hope. So we're going to find out now exactly what they fancy. And we're going to kick off with the 1 o'clock on Sunday. It is the Royal Bond Novice Hurdle. It's a Grade 1. And it is the return of Envoy Allen, who was so impressive in the champion bumper last year. A flawless start over hurdles at Down Royal. And James Morden, just how short is Envoy and Allen?
He's still fairly backable at 4-6. We've Abracadabras in at 7-2, Midnight Run 7-1, and it looks as if it only really concerns them. If you're looking towards Cheltenham and you fancy getting on him beforehand, he's 5-1 at the moment for the Supreme, 7-2 for the Ballymore. If you're feeling a bit hopeful, I think you might go Albert Bartlett. It's 25-1, and if you're super hopeful, we'll give you 25-1 for the Champion Hurdle.
Okay, well, the least likely of those is certainly the Albert Bartlett. I'd be shocked if he went the Albert Bartlett route, but he is a hell of a horse. I suppose the key thing here, Gavin, is the trip. It's 2 miles, it's Ferryhouse, a lot of speed horses in opposition. If you're thinking about the 4-6, both as a single and multiple, is the trip the one thing that's really worrying you?
It probably is. Now, he's only been over hurdles once. He jumped very well in Down Royal when he won. most bumper horses, obviously he's won all the bumpers, but usually they end up being 2.5 milers in a couple of years' time. Like Moscow Flyer couldn't even win a bumper. He'd probably too much speed to win a bumper. But so if his jumping holds up, I think it'll be fine. They're going to go a right gallop. He's a class act. I can't see him beat, really. I thought they would go shorter during the week. I thought he might have been 2s on. I think that on the day he's going to be 4 to 5. There's 9 runners in it. They've all stood their ground basically. So I think at 4 to 5 he's a bet.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised would you be if he was beaten?
I never know how to answer that question.
Try.
8.
8? Okay, that's a good answer. You're getting good at that.
That's 4 to 1 on. But I think, at 4 to 5 he's a bet.
Excellent. 4 to 5.
I think Abracadabra's jumping was better the last day in Navan than it was in Gorham Park, but I just would have a little niggling doubt that it'll stand up again.
Okay, that's the worry you have about Abracadabras. Yeah. Brendan, the opposition here, obviously Gordon holds the key with Abracadabras, his second favourite. Midnight Run, a little bit underestimated in the market.
Possibly. I was hoping that Soviet Pimpernel was a little bit underestimated. I think it's an interesting heat for each way punters. I'm going to have a few quid each way on Soviet Pimpernel because I was just so taken with that effort in Cheltenham when I thought he was a little unlucky. Took his form to a new level. There won't be a better jumper in the race. He'll travel away. I just have this vision of him travelling away up to the quarters of Envoy Allen and Allen saying, back off,
Not
son.
today, son.
So, but I'm happy to do that because I'll be surprised if he's kicked out of the frame. And he could win, as you say. Ferry has a speed favourite intact. Maybe he could mug him after the last.
Would you consider backing without the favourite, or?
Maybe I'll do that as well. Maybe a little each way and a little bet without the fav.
Because you get 3 places with
Like
each way
the
without.
cut of your jib, sir. Yeah.
There we go. You've negotiated a nice little bet there for
4 to 1
yourselves.
without each way.
Would you be devastated if he didn't finish in the first 4?
If he didn't finish the first 4, yeah, but I respect your horse. I don't think he's a lock for the frame or anything, but I think he's going to travel away. I think it'll be a fun bet for a long time.
Okay, Soviet Pimpernel is put up as an each way alternative to the favourite Envoy Allen. For you, James?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Envoy Allen. I think Soviet Pimpernel, like Brendan said, he'll improve. I think Abracadabras is probably the potential improver in the field, but I think Envoy Allen is going to win it and win it pretty handy.
Excellent. So that's the first grade 1 of the day on Sunday at Fairyhouse. And moving on to half 1 at Fairyhouse, it is the grade 1 Drinmore Novice Chase. What a race we have in store here. James, how short is Sam Crow?
6 to 4, so still pretty backable about Sam Crow. Fakir Dudaris, I believe it's pronounced. That one's in at around 15 to 8 at the minute, so a bit of money for that one. 5 to 1, Ronald Pump. 8 to 1, Burrow Saint. Chef des Obo at 14s. And then it's Tintangle in around 28 to 1.
And for those of us who thinks that Sam Crow is the real deal, any Cheltenham prices?
Yeah, we haven't priced up at the minute for the JLT at 6 to 1. He is 12 to 1 for the RSA and the Arkle, but I can't see him going for an Arkle, to be honest.
Right, Gavin. Sam Crow. We've had many debates about Sam Crow over the years.
We have.
I'm a Sam Crow fan. You're probably a Sam Crow doubter.
A little bit. We talk usually about Cheltenham and stuff, so I just want to see him going left-handed in regards to that. But Sunday, right-handed, 2.5 miles, soft ground, it's his absolute ideal conditions. So if Sam Crow is back to his best from 2 years ago, he probably should win. But I think it's a class race. I can't see myself having a bet. I think the one horse that's overpriced in is Burrow Saint. Obviously, he won an Irish National over 3.5 in Fairyhouse. He has won over 3 and say 2.5 his beginners, but I think 8 to 1 is too big for him, but it wouldn't surprise me. Fakir Dudaris, who I love, Ronald Pump was very, very impressed from Fairyhouse the last day. I think it's a great race, and I think it's one to maybe savour, but keep your hands in your pocket.
Okay.
I think it's just too many that could win it.
Yeah, but it will tell us a lot with regard to Cheltenham, won't it?
It will. Whether Fakir Dudaris definitely stays 2.5, probably will it drop back to the Arkle? Burrow Saint won't be a novice for Cheltenham, but he is for this Sunday. And obviously he'll tell us a lot about Sam Crow, yeah.
Brendan, you tell us how it is. You don't mince your words, okay? Sam Crow, how good is he?
He's very good on the bridle. I wouldn't trust him as far as I'd throw him off the bridle, though, and he's going to have to run through the pain barrier here because he's up against a couple of right good sorts.
That's harsh.
Well, it could be. It's just my opinion. I think his head goes up in the air when he comes under pressure, and every
Found
time
plenty in the Ballymore.
Did he? He went to win the race, and then because at the time I thought he was just idling in front or what have you, but he didn't go away from them or anything. I don't think he likes it up him, personally.
Right.
And we'll find out on Sunday.
A fair weather performer.
Well, possibly, in my opinion anyway, because given weight to this Fakir Dudery with all his chasing experience and what have you, jumped like a bunny around Navan. And I can't just back Fakir, I'm going to have a little saver. I think I can launch a two-pronged attack.
Have you found something else?
Well, I think I can launch a two-pronged attack against the short price.
Well, in your sort of form, you can do anything.
Well, I only come here for my morale. But the Ronald Pump, it was only when I look back on that, how good was his jump? Jumped like a cat. Yeah. And this horse is just taken. I don't know.
Do cats jump to do?
Oh, yeah, well, they land anyway, don't they, famously? But anyway, he landed really well at every fence, and his form has just taken off in the last year or so. So where will it end? So I'll take the two.
What a story that is. £1,000. Yeah. 3 lads together, threw in a couple of £100 each, got Ronald Pump, rated up when Sam Crow was winning the Ballymore, he was 103 rated maiden hurdle.
Even this time last year, he was a very lowly rated.
Unbelievable, like to see the two horses and how their careers have in the interim, how they've changed.
I would think that the trip could be a bit shorter. Ronald Pump, I think he's a 3-miler at the top level.
He jumps like a 2-miler. I'm basing that on one
Very
run.
interesting you say that. I spoke to Matthew Smith during the week, and he said the main aim for the season is the 3-mile Grade 1 Novice Chase Leopardstown over Christmas.
That'll suit him far better. If he stays on to be third, only beat a few lengths,
great run.
It'd be a great run for him, yeah.
Okay, so it is Fakir Dudery and Ronald Pump for you.
Yes.
James, can you make sense of this one?
Yeah, I really like Fakir Dudery. I've backed him for this race. I've backed him for the Arkle, so I'm hoping he turns up at the Arkle. But I just think his jumping is too good. And Sam Crow's a good jumper, but I think the way Fakir might leave him with a bit too much to do coming down towards the last.
2 votes for Fakir Dudery, and so far 0 votes for Sam Crow. Well, I'm going to change that.
Good job.
Because this is the day that Sam Crow will become a man. Yeah, this is like making his confirmation.
Oh, good.
He's gonna show everybody how good he is. Sam Crow is going to win here, and I think he's going to win the JLT. So there you go. And the final Grade 1 of the day at Fairyhouse on Sunday is at 2:40. It's the Hatton's Grace Hurdle. Unfortunately, no Bennies to do here, but we've got 2 outstanding mares in Apples Jade and Honeysuckle. And Gavin, coming to you first here. Honeysuckle is a horse I know you've always had a fondness for. Is she up to this level?
Well, we'll find out. She's only ever beaten mares. She's 4 from 4 at Fairyhouse, so she obviously loves 2.5 mile, and she loves Fairyhouse. She'll go off favourite, and she deserves to be favourite because she's coming into the race in great form where there's big doubts about Apples Jade, obviously, who's won it for the last 3 times. So they both have unbeaten records at the track. I would think it's between Honeysuckle and Bacardi's personally. You say I don't forgive horses, but it'll be a fair effort. Apples Jade didn't run to 140 in Navan, did she?
No.
She didn't. So she's got a huge improvement to come in the space of a few weeks. Penn Hill, yeah, he goes well fresh, but I still think that he's better at Cheltenham, he's better fresh at that time of the year, etc. So I can't have Penn Hill, I can't have Apples Jade, so I'm between Honeysuckle and Bacardi's.
Okay. And Bacardi's is probably going to be the value alternative against Honeysuckle.
Yeah, it's going to be 11 to 4, 3 to 1. So I'll maybe decide closer to the time, but I'd be between those two at the minute.
That's all right, sure. People can come up to you at the track and
They
ask
can,
you before the race, what is Gavin Lynch going to back? He will answer all your questions at Fairyhouse on Sunday. Brendan, Apples Jade, right? I have a theory, and the theory involves Aintree. I think Aintree was the last straw for Apples Jade. I just thought 3 miles at Aintree after Cheltenham, it was a grueler up the home straight. The whole way up, she gave everything and she was collared on the line. And I think that was the day she said, I've had enough.
The fire's gone out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's quite possible because...
I hope I'm wrong. I absolutely adore the horse.
No, absolutely. I mean, even if the fire has gone out and she's retired, what a servant she's been. But I would just say that she has thrown in the odd stinker before.
There's a lot in a row now, though.
Well, Aintree was a pretty good run, wasn't it? I suppose it was disappointing at the price.
Punchestown.
Yeah, okay, right.
Navan.
Yeah,
Navan was not great.
No, definitely. Like, you have to be in the forgiveness business. The only thing is, you're getting 3 to 1 about her. So is the price enough compensation if you wanted to go and enter the David Jennings sponsored confessional box and forgive her?
Yes.
And I think it probably just about is.
Would we agree that she's better right-handed?
Yes.
So she has that in her favour.
So you're tipping Apples Jade?
I think at 3 to 1 she's a bet.
Wow.
Everything has its price.
This is it.
And you are the man in form. If anybody can get Apples Jade to win, you are the man that can get Apples Jade to win.
Yeah. The world revolves around me.
So 2 of us think Apples Jade cannot win, and Brendan Duke thinks she will win. James, you have the casting vote.
I'm going to go against all you. I'm a big fan of Penn Hill. Runs well, fresh. I think that the tougher a test nearly this is, it's going to be the better for Penn Hill, and I just think he could have a big race in him, and Penn Hill for me.
There you go. You're more confused now than you ever were. That is the Hatton's Grace Hurdle, the Grade 1 at 2:40 at Ferryhouse on Sunday. But there is a brilliant supporting card. And Gavin, this is the moment I come to you, because this supporting card at Ferryhouse, load of tricky handicaps. You've got a juvenile hurdle to start the card. This is where I rely on you.
I think maybe the bet of the day might be a Wave of the Sea in the first. I see JP owns it now. Cerberus and itself.
Getting £4?
Yeah, £4 compared to Punchestown. There's only a neck between them. And the other thing is the Robbie Power takes over. And the two of them have bolted up since, Cerberus and Punchestown, and Wave of the Sea above and Down Royal. But I was more impressed with the Down Royal performance, so I'm going to go for a Wave of the Sea. Don't know what price it'll be, but I'd imagine even money 4 to 5. But I might do a double with Envoy Allen. And the other handicap hurdle, like that's just for the needy and the greedy.
There's a few of your favourites in there.
Yeah.
One particular favourite.
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking. Whether it's Derby on Sunday, I don't know. Janadil.
Well phrased.
You've got Janadil, you've got Build Me Up Buttercup. She's very well handicapped.
She's chucked in, isn't she?
She's chucked in. You just want to go and check out her jumping. Her jumping is okay, but you'd want to jump well. Ciel Denege, is that how you pronounce it?
Very impressive, yeah. Well, we have our resident French expert there beside you.
So that was third in the Fred Winter.
Get him to pronounce it for you there.
Which one?
Just point it out to him and he will pronounce.
Ciel Denege.
Okay.
That was a bit Russian, actually.
How is that man single? With a romantic voice like that. God, it's hard to believe.
So I think that handicap is too hard for me. I'd maybe go Janadil each way, but I think a Wave of the Sea is probably the bet of the day.
A Wave of the Sea for Gavin Lynch in the opener, 12:30 at Ferryhouse on Sunday. Brendan, anything else you like on Sunday?
In the 12:30 of Ferryhouse on Sunday, can we basically just have Gavin's argument and reverse it? Because I think Cerberus will win.
So do I.
I think he'll be a price. I do think a Wave of the Sea will be favoured. I don't think he'll be odds on though, because there's not.
I'll tell you now. I'm going to price this up live on air. Okay, I would say 4 to 6 a Wave of the Sea, 15 to 8 Cerberus.
Okay, I thought it'd be a little bit closer than that, but I do think he'd be favoured. But I mean, putting 19 lengths into Red Jerry, that's a massive effort.
Well, Red Jerry didn't jump well that day.
Jumped terrible.
It jumped terrible.
Got stuck in the mud.
It did.
But it was a hell of a performance.
I just thought the race in Down Royal was a better race. Anyway.
Okay, but
no, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see on Sunday.
So he was my bet of the day. So Gavin's gone through with rationale.
That man doesn't tip losers.
No.
He's given up tipping losers.
No.
James, anything else you like on Sunday?
Nah, Penn Hill is going to be my only bet on Sunday. So
Penn Hill is your banker.
This is it.
Excellent. So now it's time for our 3 for the weekend. This is it, lads. We want 3 from each of you, and this is the most important bit of the show. So Gavin Lynch, we'll come to you first.
I'll go with a Jukebox Jive on Saturday in Ferryhouse. I'll go with the Wave of the Sea, and I'll pick maybe Honeysuckle to beat Bacardi's.
Excellent. Brendan.
1:15 Newbury Sametagal, 2:10 Ferryhouse definite plan, and the 11:50 Ferryhouse carefully selected because we just want to back away.
Break it up, boys. Break it up. That's 11:50.
So carefully selected. He'll be short, but he'll be winning.
Carefully selected. Excellent. One of your favourite horse in training, actually, Brendan, am I right?
My favourite horse in training, yeah.
Carefully selected. James, your 3 for the weekend.
11:50 Down Royal on Saturday. Brace yourself. 12:40 Newbury. Danny Whizbang, and the 2:25 Newbury Christopher Wood.
Excellent. So there you go. They are the lads' 3 for the weekend. And what a weekend it is we have in store. It's a Ladbrokes Trophy Day at Newbury on Saturday, and it's 3 Grade 1s at Ferryhouse on Sunday. Enjoy every single moment.